Yeah, dude.
This is serious.
Yeah.
This is
Be
the serious
serious,
one.
man.
Okay. So, Noel, Cody, you met when you were working behind the scenes, if you like, at an entertainment company.
Yeah.
Did you always want to be on the other side of the microphones and the other side of the cameras?
Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was going to stand up for a couple years before we met as software engineer, and Cody was a online superstar at that point.
Thanks, man.
You were. You had 5 million followers. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah. I was making content for a while, like, as I was programming.
Yeah.
So it was always something that I like to do.
Yeah.
Did you have a light bulb moment for the show together, or did it just evolve naturally?
Yeah, no, it was really gradual. Cody started his YouTube channel, and he was just kind of create daily vlogs, and I'd help him with that. Then we kind of discovered the commentary format, and we thought we'd give that a shot. And from there, we just kind of kept pushing the snowball down the hill, and now we're here.
We started with sketches,
Yeah.
then moved to like longer form YouTube videos, then moved to podcasting, then moved to music, and it just everything was like sort of a natural progression, and us like wanting to challenge ourselves and figure out like what the next thing was for us.
So there was never a moment where you thought, actually, we're pretty good at this, like where
Oh no! Anyone who does that stinks. Yeah, you can't do that.
you can't do that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it became like we had some of those thoughts. I mean, obviously not that, but like when we would live tour and we would show up and like people were actually in the room, it'd be like, okay, people actually do care. This is crazy.
Yeah, if anything, it was like feelings of encouragement.
Yeah.
So when people came out to see us, we go, okay, they like this, let's do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cover quite a lot of bases when I'm thinking of YouTube, podcasting, comedy, music, your live shows, obviously, and also now sort of in the investment space, your business interests. How do you do that and keep your content rolling and keep it relevant?
Well, at TMG Studios, we hired our executive producer, Ryan, and he's been super helpful in just helping like turn the gears and have the day-to-day keep functioning. And that's like a main driver enabling just Cody and I to be creative separately or together.
Yeah.
I think like we're both creatives at heart, so it's like something we're always going to be passionate about.
Yeah.
So no matter how much we focus on more like quantitative stuff, it's like we have to scratch that itch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've heard about Ryan. You mentioned Ryan before. He sounds great.
Yeah.
I need a Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's good. He's just ugly. No, I'm kidding. Ryan, you're a handsome guy. I love you, man.
He's standing right there right now. Just
he's the guy with the bag on his head walking around the... All right, I'm kidding.
Do you struggle? Is it difficult to adapt content to different mediums? Is there always the fear that a new medium is going to come up and it's going to catch you out, and you're not really ready for that?
I would say no, not necessarily fear.
Yeah.
I think there is a feeling of just having. It's really weird. We started with short form, then we went to long form, and now it's going back to short form. But I think you always have this expectation that things could change.
Yeah.
But no, I think like we've both been just pretty understanding of that and just always ready to adapt, I guess.
Yeah, I think you have to be, you have to like kind of learn to respect whatever medium you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
You know, everything has a learning curve, and you can't just assume that you're going to be successful moving from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work and think about what makes things work on that specific platform.
Yeah.
Do you sort of actively keep an eye on tech developments in that sense, or do you just kind of wait like anyone else would, and as these things bubble up?
I feel like we've been behind the curve on those things.
Yeah.
Like I was late to Vine, I was late to YouTube, I was late to TikTok, podcasting, everything. Like when we started it felt like we were late. But I think there's a lesson there in that, like you're never late.
That's really important, because so many people say, oh, well, you've missed the boat there, you've missed the opportunity. But you don't believe in that. You don't.
No, because even if you look at TikTok, I mean, everyone was late to it in theory, because when it was Musical.ly, everyone thought, oh, that's an app just for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one would have thought it would be what it is now.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's a little late to start on Vine now.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
You think that's gone?
I think it's a
Yeah.
little
Okay.
late.
If you
Yeah,
can find
missed the
someone's
boat on that
phone
one.
with it still,
Yeah.
you might be able to get on. But
Yeah, actually.
yeah, it's like Flappy Bird.
R.I.P.
And
man.
and what about your audiences? How would you describe your audiences?
Loud? No, I'm kidding. No, our audience is great.
Yeah.
They,
Has it changed?
yeah. I mean, naturally, a lot of them have just like grown up with us.
Yeah.
In a cool way now, because now we all have like inside jokes.
Yeah.
So if we see each other in the street, they can kind of name drop something that's
Yeah.
maybe like 5 years old, or something you said yesterday. Yeah.
You okay with being shouted at in the street?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That never gets old.
No.
Okay, that's good.
I love when people scream, MILF Manor!
And podcast listeners, because of the sort of it's kind of an intimate medium, right? Are they quite a loyal? They strike me as quite a loyal bunch. I know I'm loyal with my listening.
Yeah.
Is that the experience that you have?
Yeah, I think they're inherently loyal because people put on podcasts in either pretty like, I would say, intimate or like vulnerable settings.
Yeah.
So if you become part of someone's commute to work, they might have you running in the background while they're actually at their job.
Yeah.
If you might be old enough to be taking care of kids, so you're like part of people's lives in a
It's
unintended
quite subtle
way.
in that way. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also the barrier to entry in getting into a podcast is pretty high. Like, you ever like listen to a podcast?
Yeah.
And they're always immediately like, I'm not really into this. Takes a few episodes to like get into it, and once you are, it's
Right.
like, well, I did that.
Committed
so now
for
I'm
that.
committed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
guess
feel like podcast audiences are like much stickier. Like, I
Yeah.
find myself, I only listen to like 2 of them, but like
Yeah.
I'm very dedicated to those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the polar opposite, I guess, to TikTok, where you're just whizzing
Exactly,
through
yeah.
kind of indiscriminate content.
Yeah.
Where you're,
Yeah.
Okay. And has your content changed? Like, do you feel you've become more mainstream? Do you care? Is that just...
Nah, I think that word doesn't really apply. Mainstream is such a, I think as our audience has grown, I think we've just, I don't know, we've traveled a lot together individually. We've gotten to physically see what our audience is in different places. And I think in that way, you just learn a lot and you become more aware of who's listening to you. And I think that definitely shapes how you talk about things. Yeah.
How much do you focus on comments on YouTube?
We read every single
100% of them.
one. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get that in.
I think we've been doing it for so long now
Yeah.
that we've kind of become a little bit desensitized, which is nice. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely read some of them, but
Yeah.
you take them all in stride,
Yeah.
the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a very good judgment of like appreciating what it is. You know.
Yeah.
And maybe don't take it too serious, and maybe
No.
yeah.
Sometimes mean comments are the funniest. They're most entertaining. So.
Yeah. And the most, like, honest, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a wake-up call.
But it
Like,
hurts.
oh, damn.
Yeah.
You mentioned, or you touched on sort of being out and about, as it were, in the real world. You've toured together. Noel, you've just finished a Rockstar World Tour as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Like, do you find the most happiness when you're performing live, or
I think he and I are polar opposites in that.
I really okay. So
Yeah. I think, I don't want to speak for you, but Cody will perform live, and I want to perform live.
Oh,
That's
really?
pretty good.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
So you have an absolute hunger for it, and you just
Yeah.
because of how you started out, right?
Yeah, and I'm insecure and abused, and
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, live performing is awesome. Yeah.
And you'll tolerate it if you have to.
I'm very nervous right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
it's tough for me.
all while we were touring, we'd do the set and we'd get back to the tour bus and I'd say, all right, let's punch it up. And Cody'd be like, no, I just want it how it is. You're freaking me out. You're giving me more stuff to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Stick to the script. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as I said before, I think like touring live was always a great reminder that like people actually care.
Yeah.
Like when we used to sit behind your computer making videos week by week by week,
Yeah.
it just starts to become like, what are we just going through
Yeah.
the motions? But then you show up in a room like this and people are here cheering, and it's
Yeah.
like that really like lands it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, wow, this does matter
Yeah.
to people, which is cool.
Yeah.
The heckle is like the in real life comment on YouTube, right? If
Yeah,
something-
we've had a couple of those before.
Yeah. No, it's fine though.
Yeah.
It's actually funny when we started performing live. So much time, like in the podcast and the stuff we had made, had passed that the shows, the first like 10 minutes were just people shouting things, and it wasn't like in a bad way.
Yeah.
It actually was fun because then we had to like roll those up into the show.
Right.
And then it became this thing where all the sound engineers at the shows would be so confused at what the show was because we just had this relationship where we could just say some random word and everyone would start to be like, yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Onto the business side of things,
Sure.
if you like. A few creators have started their own podcast or entertainment networks. How would you describe TMG Studios, and what do you do for those who are under the TMG umbrella?
I would say we're like, we're definitely very focused on video, and
Right.
we really strive to be like first in class for
Yeah.
the visual aspect of a podcast. I think the one thing we want to offer people is two things. One, visually have a very engaging podcast, and I think two, we basically just want to take everything we learned and
Yeah.
we want to try to just fast track people, enable them to do,
not make the mistakes you made, or
yeah, to just not make mistakes, and hopefully, our goal is to what took us like essentially like 8 to 10 years. We
Yeah.
hope to do for a set of talented people in
Yeah.
like 2.
We started from scratch.
Yeah.
yeah,
Bought gear on Amazon and started doing it from our living rooms, and then got a tiny little like rehearsal studio, and then upgraded a little bit, and then upgraded a little bit, and
Yeah.
so, and all along the way learned lessons about building not only an audience but like a subscriber base as
Yeah.
well. And so we want to take those learnings, pass them on to
Yeah.
people, so
Yeah.
fast track them.
And in terms of finding new talent to sort of to mentor and to work with, do you go looking for it, or do they come? I presume you get pitched a lot, right?
It's both.
Yeah.
I think we both are we're just watching all the time,
Yeah.
and we're just trying to find people that are interesting and fun, and people that we feel like we can really offer something to.
Also, we collaborate a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like
With the individual,
yeah, like having guests on, and like we were working with Meat Canyon before he came on the show, and now
Yeah.
he's got a full blown show
Yeah.
with Noel, and it's just like, we work with people, see how their energy matches ours.
Yeah.
We've always been about like chemistry and making sure that like we work well together.
Yeah.
We want that same thing with other people, so that we know that our audience resonates with them as well.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested. Well, I am very interested actually about the team behind the scenes. I think you employ 17 people now at
Yeah.
TMG.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a different thing to be looking for, right? There's looking for that comedy talent, and there's looking for people who can help you run your empire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you found that, being boss in that sense?
I mean, I think we enjoy it. I think one of my favorite things to do is actually finding good producers for our network. I personally have like a ton of individual experience with that.
Yeah.
And just self-producing larger projects. And so I think trying to find those people that kind of have that drive and that passion for it is probably, it's one of the most fun things about it.
Hiring is definitely difficult.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
a different beast from anything else we've done. But
Yeah.
I think like we've gotten really lucky and hired some fantastic people. And one of the things that like I'm really proud of with TMG Studios is how well the culture has developed.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
And everyone, it's like a comedy-based company, and you can tell when you walk in the office.
Yeah.
It's like people are just having fun, joking around.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious thing, or did that really evolve because you started small and you grew? Or
Well, I make fun of everyone, and then they realize they have to make fun of me back. No, I think it was like a subtle, conscious thing. Like Cody said, we pay attention a lot to chemistry, and honestly, in interviews, we'll just kind of like riff with people, and we'll just get a sense of what their what their vibe is, and because we think that's crucial. Yeah. Oh, your mic went out? Dang.
Well, we can interview
There we go.
you.
is that better?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
live.
Okay. You were going to have to interview each other then. It would be way better than Mike. Is it hard to nurture the comedy talent?
We can restate it. It's fine. No. Yeah. I'll restate the question. It's fine.
Is it hard to nurture comedy talent?
Oh, nice.
Is that working?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Is it difficult when you're nurturing talent, but it's not your content, and you're used to being able to control and being able to do your thing? Has that been tough?
I think, like anything in the beginning, it is tough to sort of relinquish control. Like even working with editors and stuff. Like we used to always edit our own stuff every single week.
Yeah.
Every time. We were very particular about that. And then I think you eventually evolve from that in like learning how to collaborate.
Yeah.
And like that's the only way you can build a business and scale is by learning to collaborate and trusting other people's vision.
Yeah.
So you've had to learn to be a grown-up and just...
Yeah, basically.
Kind of, yeah. But I think in specifically like with comedic talent, I think that's a bit easier because you're drawing people in because maybe you think there's something compelling about them and you think their version of humor is funny. So I think in that respect, we just try to guide people. But it's a mixture.
Yeah. You talked a little moment ago about allowing people to learn from your mistakes and the kind of hard-won knowledge you've got. Is it hard to shift from audio to video? Is that the difficult direction to go in, right?
I think I think that is a challenging switch, and I think we unintentionally kind of bridge that gap because we just learned a lot about video just from making content on YouTube, and then kind of taking that head on pretty early.
Yeah.
I think we've learned a lot about that switch in the last 4 or 5 years. So I would say, it's not easy.
Yeah. Beyond the sort of the ad revenue streams that a lot of podcasts rely on, you have a subscription service as well. It's pretty it's pretty slick, right?
Yeah.
Was that did that feel like a brave move, a brave investment, or?
It was kind of out of like necessity at the beginning because we didn't have any like ad sales agency or power or anything like that, or capability I should say. So we were like, we have to make money on this right out the gate.
Yeah.
So we started doing it on Patreon.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of serendipitous in that way. And then we learned how powerful it could be as the show grew, our subscriber base grew. And so eventually we moved on from Patreon. We started our own like bespoke subscription platform that our other talent is on as well. And so now we're trying to scale that. And it's cool. It's nice having that as a second revenue stream to ad sales because both of them are different markets that change, right?
Yeah, and even in that respect, now we just hired our first like in-house ad sales like representative.
That I was really, really interested to hear that. And is that something that you can offer to other creators as well? Is that the aim?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
We want to be able to, again, like fast-track people. So if we can get them working with brands kind of in the first year, that's like an awesome win. And, just try to offer the most value to people at the earliest stage of their career.
Yeah.
We outsource ads right now, and what's nice about bringing them in-house is we can get a little bit more granular with like how the reads are and the type of brands that people are doing ads for.
Yeah, and try to maybe even secure ads that really actually speak to the
American Eagle.
Yeah, American Eagle, man. Yeah,
exactly.
Got it. Yeah.
And do you think that sort of extension, the extension from that, do you think bringing as much as you can in-house actually helps you have a better relationship with your audience, better understanding, and the content they get is going to be better because of it?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Looking ahead, your aspirations as creators beyond... do you have aspirations beyond the digital space, beyond YouTube? Do you think about that, or are you just having too much fun right now?
I mean, it's definitely a lot of fun, but I think we've got a lot of aspirations in that by building our network, we want to try to tackle bigger things, We'd love to do a feature film. We'd love to keep,
Hold on, feature film?
Yeah.
When's that coming out?
I don't know. We're working on something now, but those take like 5 years. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, I think it's just we'll keep growing the network. Just trying to build up more talent, and I don't know, just still try to make good media.
Great. Well, I think we're just about out of time, and we've got the feature film reveal. So
Check back in 5 years.
Yeah, in 5 years.
Okay.
But until then, TMGstudios.tv.
thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
all right, appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.